Hello everyone, today we're going to study Unit 5, Lesson 1 for Prep 2. So now let's start with these new words. Let's start with the first word, reduce. So to reduce is to make something less or smaller in quantity, price, size, etc. For example, giving up smoking reduces the risk of heart disease. Flock, to go or meet somewhere in large numbers. For example, thousands of people flocked to the beach this year. Overcrowd, to put too many people inside a place. For example, the students overcrowded the cafeteria. Treat, to act or behave towards someone or something in a particular way. For example, treat your keyboard with care and it should last forever. Life-threatening, very serious or dangerous, likely to kill you. For example, his heart condition is not life-threatening. Catastrophe, it's a sudden disaster that causes great suffering or damage. For example, early warnings of rising water levels prevented another major catastrophe. Set up, to start a business, organization, system, etc. For example, she took out a bank loan and set up on her own. Smart, clever or intelligent. For example, she's smarter than her brother. Limb, a leg or an arm of a person. For example, an artificial limb. Regenerate, to grow again, to make something grow again. For example, the money will be used to regenerate the commercial heart of the town. Search engine, it's a computer program that searches the internet for information. For example, I'm going to look for this document in the Google search engine. Malfunctioning, something that's not working properly. For example, this is a malfunctioning computer. Provide, to give something to someone or to make something available for someone to use, to supply something. For example, the report was not expected to provide any answers. Interpret, to explain or understand the meaning of something, to translate something into another language. For example, the students were asked to interpret the poem. Reason, to talk to someone in order to persuade them to behave or think in a more reasonable way. For example, I tried to reason with him, but he wouldn't listen. So now let's do this exercise here. Number 1. Cancer is a disease. So of course, cancer is a life-threatening disease. It leads to death. Number 2. A lot of people around Muhammad Salah when they met him in the mall. So, a lot of people flocked, so they gathered together around him. Number 3. The earthquake was real, it destroyed hundreds of buildings. So it was a real catastrophe. It was a disaster. Number 4. A doctor shot his patients well. So, a doctor should treat his patients well. So he should deal with them in a good way. So now let's move on to lesson 2. Let's do this exercise here. Number 1. The earthquake was real, it destroyed hundreds of buildings. So the answer is, it was a real catastrophe. Number 2. A doctor shot his patients well. So, a doctor shot, treat his patients well. Number 3. He can speak more than one language. He can easily, as soon as he listens. So, he can easily interpret. Number 4. People who lose a leg do not expect it to regenerate. Number 5. A leader his people with all the supplies they need. So, a leader provides. So now let's start with these words here. Acid rain. It's rain that contains harmful chemicals from factory gases and that damages trees, crops and buildings. For example, many forests have been damaged by acid rain. Greenhouse effect. It's the problem of the gradual rise in temperature of the Earth's atmosphere caused by an increase of gases such as carbon dioxide. Global warming. So, global warming is the increase in temperature of the Earth's atmosphere. So let's have some examples. So, the greenhouse effect is causing the Earth's atmosphere to heat up. The global warming will cause the icebergs to melt. Rainforest. It's a thick forest in tropical parts of the world that have a lot of rain. For example, most of the Amazon rainforest is in Brazil. Carbon emission. It's the production or sending out of carbon dioxide. For example, coal burning power stations are a source of carbon emission. Endangered species. Used about groups of animals, plants that are at the risk of no longer existing. For example, some endangered species can only be seen in zoos. Solar power. It's the energy from the sun converted into electrical energy. So, for example, the solar power is a renewable source of energy. So now let's study these verbs, noun collections. So, to access information is to be able to get or reach information. To do research is to study something carefully and try to discover more or new facts about it. To treat illnesses is to give medical care or attention to an illness. To make important discoveries, it's the act of or the process of learning about something that was not known about before. To meet targets is to achieve them. To prevent climate change is to stop them from happening or to stop it from happening. Reduce carbon emission is to make them less. To make mistakes is to not understand something correctly. So now let's do this exercise here to make sure that you got it all. Number 1. If governments do not take measures to prevent, more natural disasters will occur. So the answer is climate change. Number 2. Skiing accidents often result in broken limbs. Number 3. V helps to protect from harmful radiation from the sun. So, the answer is ozone layer. Number 4 is a renewable source of energy. So, solar power is a renewable source of energy. So that's it for today. I hope you understand these 2 lessons. Goodbye. So now let's do this exercise here, based on lessons 1 and 2, Unit 5. Choose the correct answer. Number 1. We should the amount of pollution in the atmosphere to lead a healthy life. So the answer is to reduce, to make it less. Number 2. In the future, computers will be able to, on their own. So the answer is to reason, to be able to think, like human beings. Number 3. Google is one of the most famous on the internet. So the answer is search engines. Number 4. Cancer is a disease. So cancer is a life-threatening disease. Number 5. A lot of people around Muhammad Salah when they saw him in the mall. So the answer is flocked, to gather together. Number 6. The earthquake was real, it destroyed hundreds of buildings. So it was a real catastrophe. Number 7. A doctor shot his patients well. So the answer is treat. Number 8. He can speak more than one language. He can easily as soon as he listens. So the answer is interpret, to translate. Number 9. People who lose a leg do not expect it to. So do not expect it to regenerate, to grow again. Number 10. A leader has people with all the supplies they need. So, a leader provides. Number 11. In the next 50 years, some countries will have started in space. So the answer is colony. And a colony is a group of people who go and live permanently in a place. Number 12. My dad wants to his own company. So the answer is to set up, to start. Okay, so choose the correct answer. Number 1. Future leaders need to the mistakes made in previous policies. So the answer is avoid, to stop or prevent. Number 2. Many children in the world have lost because of landmines. So the answer is limbs. Number 3. V helps to protect from harmful radiation from the sun. So the answer is ozone layer. Number 4. Is a renewable source of energy. So it's solar power. Number 5. The problem of having too many people in a place is problem. So the answer is overcrowding. Number 6. Experts have an important discovery about wind energy recently. So the answer is made. So to make a discovery. Number 7. We can easily a lot of information on the internet. So the answer is access. Number 8. Scientists have spent several years research into the effect of global warming. So it's going to be doing research. Number 9. Some endangered can only be seen in zoos. So endangered species. Number 10. Has destroyed many forests in Central Europe. So the answer is acid rain. Rewrite the following sentences using the words between brackets to give the same meaning. Number 1. The doctors made her well again with antibiotics and total bed rest. Use treated. So of course to treat is to cure an illness. So the answer is the doctors treated her well with antibiotics and total bed rest. Number 2. My computer was not working properly and I needed to get it repaired. Use malfunctioning. And of course, malfunctioning means not working properly. So the answer is my computer was malfunctioning and I needed to get it repaired. Number 3. When the shop started its sale, everybody went in large numbers to find a bargain. Use flocked. So of course to flock is to gather together in one place. So the answer is when the shop started its sale, everybody flocked to find a bargain. Number 4. The company was fined because it failed to achieve the specifications of the government. Use target. So of course to meet the target is to achieve them. So the answer is the company was fined because it failed to meet the target of the government. Number 5. Google is a famous search engine. So the synonym for this word famous is well-known. So the answer is Google is a well-known search engine. So that's it for today. I hope you understand these two lessons. Goodbye.